Hello everyone, my name is Cameron Williams and I like to be considered to be a candidate for this year's The Associate. So let's start things off by telling you a little bit about who I am. I am a peer educator for disability and a resident assistant. And what's beautiful about both these positions is that they have allowed me to see Towson in a wide perspective. As a peer educator for disability, I have learned how to give presentations to an audience that isn't favorable to what you have to say. Uh, what peer educators for disability do in a sense is give presentations to students who are there for disciplinary actions, and we teach them how to have good character, what does it mean to have integrity, how to be a civil student at Towson University. So it was a positive lesson on how to give messages of criticism or to give messages of criticism to an audience that may not be favorable of what your message has to say, but it's a needed message. As a resident assistant, the job has taught me how to be a good role model. The job requires you to have consistent character. Regardless of the situation you are being placed in, you need to have consistent character. So that's why I appreciate about the job. It taught me how to be the same Cameron regardless if a resident is being disrespectful to you or being nice to you. So if you ever come here, just say hello. But another reason why you should come here is because my residents will tell you that Cameron has a story for everything. You can ask the guy, you can ask the guy, Cameron, can I get directions to 7-Eleven? I'll say, once upon a time, X and Y happened. But the reasoning why is because I want to deliver, a lot of time, I want to deliver a deep message to my residents. But because I'm older than them, I know that certain things they won't grasp or get a good concept on. So I use stories to tell it to them. So in a sense, it's like a parable, a deep meaning, but you're using a natural example. So tonight's parable, in a sense, is about a time where I felt like I showed humility, perseverance, stuff that I feel that a candidate for the associate needs. When I was 14, I had scoliosis, and it was the only thing we could do for it was operate. Stretching couldn't fix it, exercises, bracing couldn't fix it. The only thing you could do for it was operate. In a sense, my spine looked like this. Not an earthworm, but something like a backwards S. My printer broke, so this is the best we kind of have for tonight. So I hope you guys can work with me. The surgery required me to be out of school for approximately 2 months or so, and it was one of the most impactful experiences I've ever had in my life. And since my assignment for the surgery, or after the surgery, was that the doctor said, Cameron, all you can do is lay there and heal. And they told me everything would be difficult for me. Even eating was difficult for me. For a certain point, all I ate during that time of the month, that time in the hospital, was ice. And I would try to lie to the nurses and say, hey, give me Jello. And one time it worked. But that time I almost drowned in the Jello. And I learned my lesson. Like, y'all know you guys thinking, like, how can this kid drown in Jello? But because you're laying there and you don't have control of your body, you're pouring the Jello down your throat and it just gets stuck in your esophagus. So in a sense, I almost drowned in Jello. And from that time, I learned, you just need to take the doctor's advice regardless of what you think. But out of that memory of being in the hospital, the most impactful part was learning how to walk again. One day, when my spine had reached a point where it was strong enough to walk, the doctor came to me and said, Cameron, today you're going to have to learn how to walk again. And I'm looking at the guy like he's crazy because, I'm 14. I think I know how to walk. I've been doing it for 14 years. It's just one foot in front of the other. So I turn around at the hospital bed, just try to spring into action, forgetting that I just had spinal surgery, like, 5 weeks ago. And I fall. But the only thing that kept me from smacking the ground was one of the nurses. And at that moment, I learned humility because I taught me that I didn't know everything. And the doctor, regardless of how much I felt like I knew me, the doctor had greater experience with my body. So it taught me that wherever my situation is, I must be humble enough to receive something from someone else. Secondly, it taught me that regardless of the obstacles in your life, you just have to persevere. Trust me, it was humiliating going down to ICU in a walker and you're 14, but that was necessary to develop courage and just to learn how to walk again. So after I learned how to walk again, I'm at home recovering and whatnot. I finally reached to a point where I'm able to come back to school, and that was the worst experience of my life. For some fact that I'm 14, I'm bony and frail because at the hospital I stopped eating and I had dropped down to 70 pounds. So I became the frail kid that everybody picked on. And I'm wearing this brace, something like a turtle shell. And at the time, the movie Master of Disguise had just came out. And one of the famous lines from the movie was when the guy turns into a turtle and goes, "Turtle, turtle." So every day I'll go down the hallway, kids would just tease me, destroying my self-esteem, saying "turtle, turtle, turtle, turtle," and it just like it made my life a nightmare in high school. But I couldn't stop being who I am. I had to keep going. And one day we were in class, and you would think this wouldn't happen in high school because we're in high school. One day we're having randomly having a crayon fight. So one day somebody hits me with a crayon, and it smacks my brace, and it makes like this loud gunshot sound. So everybody in class is like, "Whoa, what is that?" And I'm telling them it's my brace. And then next the class just berates me with crayons. It sounds like a gunfight is going off in class. It's like, Gah! And yeah, so my life was a nightmare in high school. But that same semester, I made honor roll, and that meant a lot to me because while my classmates were going through their normal time in the semester, I was at home recovering, but also catching myself up on homework. Every day, while I was recovering, I would do my Spanish homework, I would do my math homework, I would do my English homework, to the point that hopefully, I would have caught up to my classmates who've been there all year. But to know that I've reached honor roll and to know that to a certain point I even surpassed some of my classmates, it taught me that regardless of whatever you're going through in your life, and regardless of the situations that may have happened upon you, with hard work and dedication, you can overcome those things. And even though that was a painful experience in my life, I was glad to have had it because it helped me develop the work ethic that I have now. So I hope that tonight's parable tells you guys a little bit about who I am and why I should be considered to be a candidate for this year's associate. I hope you all have a nice time, reviewing these tapes and things. And I look forward to speaking with you guys later. Thank you.